In a move that has raised eyebrows across the political spectrum, former President Donald Trump has revoked security details for several key figures from his previous administration, including former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and senior aide Brian Hook. This decision comes despite ongoing intelligence assessments indicating that both men remain under significant threat from Iran, particularly due to their roles in the aggressive U.S. posture towards the country during Trump's first term. Sources familiar with the situation revealed that the decision to strip Pompeo and Hook of their security details was made on January 22, 2025, just 2 days after Trump rescinded similar protections for former National Security Advisor John Bolton. These moves appear to contradict the Biden administration's warnings about the elevated threats posed by Iran, especially in light of past actions such as the drone strike that killed Iranian General Qasem Soleimani in January 2020. Trump's rationale for revoking the security details was articulated during a recent press interaction where he remarked, "When you have protection, you can't have it for the rest of your life." He further added, "I mean, there's risks to everything." However, these comments have been met with skepticism, especially given the context of ongoing threats against former officials who played pivotal roles in shaping U.S.-Iran relations. The implications of Trump's decision extend beyond individual security concerns. Dr. Charles Kupperman, who served as a deputy national security advisor under Bolton, commented that such actions could have a chilling effect on Trump's emerging national security team. He emphasized that new team members might hesitate to make recommendations that could jeopardize their own safety. The question of personal security versus national security decisions looms large, particularly as the new administration prepares for potentially contentious diplomatic engagements. Adding to the gravity of the situation, Senator Mike Rounds of South Dakota, a member of the Senate Intelligence Committee, expressed concern over the decision, noting, "We know that there have been known threats made by the government of Iran against him." This sentiment echoes sentiments from various quarters of the political landscape where the potential risks associated with antagonizing Iran are well understood. The Biden administration has previously indicated that threats from Iran to U.S. officials are not to be taken lightly. In a stark warning issued in late 2024, aides to President Biden cautioned Iranian officials that any assassination attempt against former U.S. government officials would be treated as an act of war. The gravity of this threat was underscored when the Justice Department charged an individual allegedly linked to Iran with plotting to kill Trump himself shortly after the 2024 election. While Trump has attempted to distance himself from his former aides, the motivations behind the withdrawal of their security details remain murky. Pompeo, who has publicly criticized Biden's foreign policy, briefly considered a presidential run in 2024 but ultimately endorsed Trump. Despite their differences, the decision to revoke his security detail raises questions about loyalty and the future dynamics within Trump's political circle. As the political landscape continues to evolve, the ramifications of this decision are likely to reverberate throughout Trump's second term and beyond. The interplay between personal safety, national security, and political allegiance will be crucial as Trump navigates the challenges posed by a volatile international environment. Observers are left to ponder how these developments will shape the administration's approach to foreign policy and internal governance, especially with looming threats from adversaries like Iran. As tensions simmer, the coming months will reveal whether Trump's actions will embolden or deter potential threats against his former associates. In the ever-evolving landscape of American politics and social media, recent developments have sparked considerable discourse regarding ethical governance, corporate influence, and the ramifications of misinformation. As President Donald Trump embarks on his second term, questions surrounding potential conflicts of interest and the legality of corporate diversity initiatives have emerged as focal points for both supporters and critics. One of the most contentious points raised has been Trump's assertion that corporate diversity efforts are illegal, igniting a debate that extends beyond mere legalities to the broader implications for corporate governance and social responsibility. Legal scholars and political analysts suggest that such statements could undermine years of progress toward inclusivity in the workplace. Diversity initiatives are not only legal but essential for fostering an equitable society, noted legal expert Sarah Thompson. The concern is that this rhetoric may embolden corporations to roll back their commitments to diversity, equity, and inclusion, potentially eroding the advancements made in recent years. Meanwhile, the intertwining of corporate interests and political power has drawn scrutiny, particularly regarding Trump's financial entanglements with foreign governments. Noah Bookbinder, president and CEO of Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington, highlighted the gravity of these issues. Trump's financial conflicts of interest constitute a long list, and he has deep and long-standing financial ties to myriad foreign governments. Bookbinder stated. His organization has been at the forefront of legal challenges against Trump alleging violations of the Emoluments Clause of the Constitution, which prohibits federal officeholders from accepting gifts or benefits from foreign states without congressional consent. Trump's financial dealings have reportedly garnered over $13 million from foreign governments during his first presidency, raising concerns about the influence such funds can exert on U.S. policies. The potential for future conflicts looms large as Trump is associated with publicly traded companies and cryptocurrency ventures that could serve as vehicles for foreign investment. The risks are significantly heightened now, with foreign entities having greater access to influence decisions that affect American welfare, Bookbinder warned. Adding to the discourse, Meta, the parent company of Facebook and Instagram, recently faced backlash over claims that users were forced to follow government accounts after Trump's inauguration. Meta's policy communications manager Andy Stone clarified that users were not compelled to follow these accounts, stating, "This is the same procedure we followed during the last presidential transition." However, the incident has reignited concerns about the platform's role in shaping political narratives and the boundaries of user autonomy in the age of social media. Furthermore, Trump's upcoming visit to Los Angeles following devastating wildfires attributed to climate change has drawn criticism for his administration's response to environmental issues. Critics accuse Trump of spreading misinformation regarding the causes of the fires, particularly his claims about water shortages being responsible for the devastation. When Trump sees the heartbreaking devastation firsthand, I hope he realizes that a true leader will work on solutions rather than spread lies to score political points, remarked John Buse from the Center for Biological Diversity. This underscores a broader concern about the politicization of environmental issues and the administration's responsibility in addressing climate change. As these narratives unfold, they highlight a critical juncture in American governance where the intersection of corporate influence, political power, and social responsibility is under intense scrutiny. The future remains uncertain, with many observers calling for greater accountability and transparency in both corporate and political spheres. As the American public becomes increasingly aware of these issues, the potential for backlash against perceived corruption and misinformation could shape the political landscape in the years to come. The path forward will likely involve not only legal battles but also a cultural shift toward demanding ethical governance and responsible corporate behavior. In a surprising turn of events, President Donald Trump has revoked security details for key former officials, including ex-Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and advisor Brian Hook, despite ongoing threats from Iran. This decision comes amid heightened tensions and a turbulent political landscape as Trump embarks on his second non-consecutive term in office. The move has raised eyebrows, particularly given the history of animosity between the United States and Iran and the targeted actions taken during Trump's first term that have left former officials exposed to potential retaliation. Sources reveal that the Biden administration had cautioned Trump about the risks facing Pompeo and Hook stemming from their involvement in a hawkish U.S. foreign policy toward Iran, most notably the 2020 drone strike that killed Iranian General Qasem Soleimani. Trump's decision to strip these security details, first reported on January 23, 2025, has been perceived by some as a significant risk, not only for the individuals affected but also for the morale and decision-making of his emerging national security team. Trump defended his actions, stating, "When you have protection, you can't have it for the rest of your life," suggesting that risks are part of public service. However, this rationale has been met with skepticism, particularly given the ongoing threats. Former National Security Advisor John Bolton, who also had his security removed, highlighted the gravity of the situation, noting that two government agencies had recently reaffirmed the threat level against him and others remained unchanged since 2022. Experts in national security have voiced concerns that Trump's decision may deter potential candidates from joining his administration. Dr. Charles Kupperman, a former deputy national security advisor, warned that the absence of security could lead to a chilling effect on the new team, who must prioritize national security decisions without regard for personal safety. Indeed, the implications of such actions could ripple through Trump's administration, as potential advisors may now weigh the risks involved in serving under a president who appears willing to forego their protection. The decision has sparked a mixed response on Capitol Hill, with some Republican senators voicing their unease. Senator Mike Rounds expressed confusion over the rationale behind the security revocations, noting the known threats posed by Iran. This sentiment underscores a broader concern about the stability of U.S. foreign policy and the safety of its officials in volatile regions. Meanwhile, Trump's presidency is already facing legal challenges, with a federal judge recently deeming one of his executive orders aimed at denying citizenship to children born in the U.S. to non-citizens blatantly unconstitutional. This setback represents a potential hurdle in Trump's broader agenda to expand presidential powers, which could be further complicated by ongoing court battles over his directives. Despite these challenges, the president has remained active in pushing his agenda forward. Trump has signed several executive orders, including those related to declassifying records on high-profile assassinations and evaluating a national digital asset stockpile, signaling a continued commitment to controversial policies he championed during his first term. As Trump navigates the complexities of his presidency, the interplay between national security, personal safety for former officials, and legal challenges will undoubtedly shape his administration's trajectory. The coming weeks will reveal whether these actions bolster his leadership or create divisions within his party and government. With eyes on the unfolding drama, observers await the next developments in both Trump's policy initiatives and the security landscape for his former aides. In a bold proclamation at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, President Donald Trump stated his intention to demand lower interest rates and oil prices, asserting that such changes are critical for the American economy. However, the complexities of the current economic landscape suggest that fulfilling these promises may not be as straightforward as Trump anticipates. As the economy stands, it is buoyed by healthy consumer spending and robust growth, with an annual expansion rate of at least 3% in 4 out of the last 5 quarters, the longest such streak in a decade. Unemployment is at a historically low rate of 4.1%, and inflation, which had reached a 4-decade high in 2022, has moderated to 2.4%. Jan Hatzius, chief economist at Goldman Sachs, captures this moment with the observation that the economy is in a sweet spot of healthy growth. Despite these positive indicators, significant challenges loom on the horizon. Trump's promises come in the context of a staggering national debt and budget deficits projected to reach $1.9 trillion this year and potentially ballooning to $2.7 trillion over the next decade. As businesses increasingly borrow to invest in data centers and artificial intelligence, the demand for loans could inadvertently keep interest rates high. This is compounded by Trump's proposals to impose tariffs on imports and implement strict immigration policies, which many economists fear could exacerbate inflation, further complicating the Federal Reserve's decision-making regarding interest rates. During his remarks in Davos, Trump articulated a vision where reduced oil prices would alleviate inflation and lead to lower interest rates. "I'll demand that interest rates drop immediately, and likewise they should be dropping all over the world," he stated. However, the economic realities suggest that even if energy prices decline, the Fed may remain hesitant to cut rates significantly given the underlying inflationary pressures. Economists like Gregory Dacko of EY emphasize that Trump's combination of tax cuts, deregulation, and protectionist tariffs may create an inflationary environment that compels the Fed to adopt a more stringent approach to monetary policy.
"You're going to be in a higher interest rate environment," he warns,
indicating that the economic backdrop is markedly different from the conditions that prevailed during Trump's first term starting in 2017. The landscape has shifted significantly. Households are now carrying less debt and are generally in a stronger financial position, with many benefiting from rising home values and stock market gains. This newfound wealth is likely to fuel consumer spending, but it also means that the demand for loans could keep interest rates elevated. Moreover, the tech sector's aggressive investment in infrastructure to support artificial intelligence research only adds to the demand for capital. As Trump navigates these challenges, the global economic climate remains uncertain. His policies may provoke protectionist measures worldwide, reversing decades of globalization that had previously contributed to lower prices for manufactured goods. This shift could further complicate the inflation scenario, as supply chain realignments and tariff-induced costs could push prices higher. The Federal Reserve's response to the changing economic dynamics will be pivotal. Even if interest rates are lowered, the interconnectedness of financial markets means that borrowing costs for consumers may not decrease correspondingly. The yield on the 10-year Treasury note, which influences mortgage rates, has risen despite the Fed's rate cuts, indicating that market expectations for growth are high, largely driven by Trump's tax and regulatory proposals. As Trump's administration progresses, financial insiders are left to ponder the implications of these policies on the broader economy. The interplay between consumer behavior, government policy, and international market dynamics will likely shape the economic landscape in 2025 and beyond. With the specter of ongoing budget deficits and potential inflationary pressures, the question remains: can Trump's administration effectively manage these challenges while delivering on its promises of lower interest rates and economic growth? The coming months will be crucial in determining the trajectory of both the U.S. economy and Trump's political future. In a shocking revelation during his confirmation process for Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, the nominee put forth by President Donald Trump disclosed that he had made a $50,000 payment to a woman who accused him of sexual assault in 2017. This information emerged from written responses Hegseth provided to Senator Elizabeth Warren following her inquiries as part of the vetting process. The disclosure has raised significant concerns among lawmakers, particularly among Democrats and some Republicans, as the Senate prepares to vote on Hegseth's nomination. Hegseth, who has previously served as a prominent host at Fox News, has consistently denied the allegations against him, claiming that he was falsely accused and asserting that he has been completely cleared of any wrongdoing. His attorney Timothy Parlator confirmed the existence of the settlement made years after the incident but declined to comment on the specific amount, which had remained undisclosed until now. Reports indicate that the payment was made as part of a confidential settlement, with Hegseth allegedly worried that the woman was preparing to sue, a move that could jeopardize his career in media. The allegations date back to a police report from 2017 where the woman stated that Hegseth sexually assaulted her in a California hotel room. The account included claims that he blocked her from leaving the room and took her phone, but Hegseth maintained that the encounter was consensual. While the police recommended forwarding the case to the Monterey County District Attorney's Office, charges were ultimately not filed due to a lack of evidence meeting the threshold of proof beyond a reasonable doubt. As Hegseth's nomination advanced through the Senate Armed Services Committee, it was accompanied by a growing chorus of opposition. Concerns have been amplified by additional allegations regarding Hegseth's conduct, including claims of excessive drinking and abusive behavior towards his second wife Samantha Hegseth. In a statement provided to the FBI, she suggested ongoing issues with alcohol abuse, a claim that has been disputed by Hegseth and his legal team, who assert that she had not been in close contact with him for several years. Senator Jack Reed, a Democrat, expressed dissatisfaction with the quality of Hegseth's FBI background check, stating that he had never seen such extensive briefings provided about a nominee in his long tenure on the committee. Reed's remarks hint at a deeper concern regarding the vetting process for individuals in high-ranking positions within the administration, particularly when allegations of misconduct surface. With Hegseth's nomination poised for a final vote, the ramifications extend beyond his personal reputation. The potential confirmation of a nominee facing such serious allegations could signal a shift in the standards expected of public officials, particularly in a military context. As the Senate weighs the implications of Hegseth's past actions and the surrounding controversies, the outcome will likely resonate through the military and political landscapes, influencing future nominations and the handling of similar allegations in government. As the situation unfolds, it remains to be seen how these developments will impact not only Hegseth's confirmation but also the broader discourse around accountability and conduct among those in positions of power. The Senate's decision could set a precedent reflecting societal attitudes toward allegations of misconduct and the measures taken to address them in the corridors of power. In a significant turn of events in global diplomacy, President Donald Trump has signaled an intention to renew talks with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un while simultaneously strategizing a new approach to Iran. This dual focus on two of America's most contentious foreign relationships underscores the complexities of international diplomacy as Trump embarks on his second presidential term. During a recent interview with Fox News host Sean Hannity, Trump expressed a desire to reconnect with Kim, highlighting their past rapport. "He liked me and I got along with him," Trump noted, referring to their earlier meetings that garnered global attention but ultimately failed to curb North Korea's nuclear ambitions. Analysts, however, caution that Kim, now emboldened by a strengthened alliance with Russia and advancements in his own military capabilities, may leverage his position more aggressively in any forthcoming discussions. The backdrop to this diplomatic overture is a North Korea that has dramatically advanced its missile technologies since Trump's last tenure. These developments, coupled with Kim's burgeoning partnership with Russia, evidenced by military cooperation in the context of the ongoing war in Ukraine, pose significant challenges. Kim's regime has been vocal about its strengthened military capabilities and has recently ramped up missile tests. As such, any new negotiations will likely require the U.S. to navigate a more assertive North Korean stance. In parallel, Trump is reportedly considering appointing Middle East envoy Daniel Witkoff to spearhead U.S. diplomacy concerning Iran. This move comes amidst heightened tensions in the region, particularly regarding Iran's nuclear ambitions and its influence across the Middle East. Experts suggest that Witkoff's experience could be pivotal in addressing the complexities of Iranian negotiations, especially given the backdrop of recent escalations involving U.S. interests and Iranian proxies. The intertwining of these two diplomatic efforts reflects a broader strategy that Trump has often articulated: an America First policy aimed at reclaiming U.S. influence on the global stage while addressing domestic concerns. His recent electoral victory, securing 312 electoral votes against Kamala Harris's 226, has reignited a national discourse on how best to navigate these international relationships. Many Americans, disillusioned by previous administrations' foreign policies, are looking to Trump to revitalize the U.S. economy while simultaneously reasserting its dominance abroad. Trump's ambitious agenda includes not only diplomatic efforts but also a series of domestic policies aimed at addressing inflation and economic stagnation. His administration is expected to focus on measures such as imposing tariffs on foreign goods, which could have complex implications for American consumers. Furthermore, Trump has vowed to take a hard stance on illegal immigration, which he ties into his broader economic strategy. As Trump re-enters the global arena, questions loom regarding his approach to long-standing conflicts, particularly in the Middle East, where U.S. military aid and foreign policy have been contentious issues. His promise to end ongoing wars through negotiation could reshape U.S. involvement in conflicts like the Israel-Palestine dispute, where he has hinted at pursuing a ceasefire agreement. However, the success of these initiatives will depend heavily on the responses from leaders like Kim Jong-un and the Iranian regime, both of whom have shown adaptability and resilience in the face of U.S. pressure. Analysts predict that Kim's response to Trump's overtures will be calculated, potentially waiting to assess the seriousness of U.S. intentions before engaging in dialogue. Looking ahead, the international community will be closely monitoring how Trump's renewed focus on diplomacy will unfold and what implications these strategies will have for global stability.
With his unorthodox approach to foreign relations, Trump could either pave the way for breakthroughs in U.S. diplomacy or entrench adversarial positions further. As he embarks on this new chapter, the intersection of domestic policy and international relations will be crucial for shaping the future of U.S. foreign engagements. Particularly in a world marked by geopolitical upheaval and shifting alliances.